Hope you're ready for another scary tale, because this one is gonna be terrifying. Oh. Diné. Welcome back to another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions. Now, before we get started with the story, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the story immediately. Oh! Now, I know in some of my past videos I have mentioned the Monster Slayer Wars, the twins Nayet Nizane and Tobushish Chene. And now, I'm here to tell you about a story about a monster that lived in the mountains and the forests south of the Navajo Nation. This beast and monster was called the Many-Horned Monster. How the Many-Horned Monster came to be is a story that is very off-putting, is very unsettling and very taboo. And it ties in and deals with how you treat your jish, your sacred items that you have inside of your home, inside of that you carry with you whenever you need protection. Now, the story goes that the Many-Horned Monster was birthed when his mother used a deer antler very inappropriately. And I'll go ahead and leave it like that. Now, she was, in a sense, cursed because of how she desecrated the holy uses of a deer antler, antelope antler, in such a way that she gave birth to a monster. Now, the Many-Horned Monster, its appearance that it has is one that is mainly of a deer, of an elk, of an antelope, a four-legged beast that's like that. Really thick, armored leather skin that it had, with really long dark black hair. And different stories will talk about how he was headless. Other stories will say that he did have a head, but it was more so of kind of like a deer head, but antlers would come out of its eyes. Antlers came out of its neck. Antlers came out of its shoulders. And it was very intimidating, very scary looking. And this beast ran away from its home because it was shunned away because it's a monstrosity. It was one of those things that it was birthed from a curse. It was birthed from unnatural acts. And this being went in and lived south of the Navajo Nation, lived in the mountain foresty areas. I guess that would be modern day, closer to the rim south of Winslow, near the forests that kind of go into more so going into Payson. Not too far south as Payson, but in between those areas in the mountainous regions. And the powers that this thing had, it was very strong. It was very intimidating, like how I said, with its antlers that it had. And the antlers played more than a role with just being able to hit, stab, or do anything else that you could do with antlers. The stories go that the antlers used to hum, they used to sing, as well as with these antlers, it also had eyes with it too as well. So Many-Horned Monster could be able to see all the way around whatever. It kind of had like a fly's kind of vision kind of thing. And so when it would sing its songs, it used to lure its prey to him willingly. And those songs it would sing, it would get livestock, local animals that were kind of in the area to be able to feast upon. But till one day, the Many-Horned Monster did not just want to eat livestock. It did not want to eat local other deer, coyotes, sheep, bears, anything like that. It wanted more. But one day, it changed its song to be able to hypnotize people to come to it willingly too as well. And so That right there, it started to consume and eat the local people that used to travel through those routes. People used to go missing. People nearby villages, people that used to kind of go around that were kind of further away outside the rim of the forest, but it would still lure people in at night to be able to be consumed by this beast and this monster. Now, during this time, like I said, this was during the Monster Slayer Wars, when Nayetnizon and Tobashishchene, the twin warriors, as well as many other warriors at the time, would go out and hunt these monsters that used to prey upon spirits, prey upon human beings, prey upon life itself. And with this right here, they were summoned and called to be able to try to take out this monster. Now, this, at the time, was not the very first monster that these two warriors have taken out. For those of you who do not know, the Nayetnizon and Tobashishchene were, I guess you can consider them demigods. Their mother is first woman in the Navajo culture, and then their father is the sun itself, the sun god himself too. So they went on a bunch of different travels and journeys to be able to meet their father, get trained up by the Diné, the spirits themselves, and gather and acquire weapons and strategies and methods to be able to learn how to take down these monsters. So the twins got word and reports of a monster south of the Navajo Nation that were making people go missing. So they, along with other warriors, traveled south of the Navajo Nation into the forest to be able to try to find it. And one night, it didn't take them long to be able to locate and start hearing the songs, hearing the vibrations of the antlers to try to lure them in. So they covered their ears inside so they wouldn't be able to hear the songs, to be able to be hypnotized by the Many-Horned Monster. And while they were doing that, they were humming their own songs too as well to counteract the vibrations, because even though you can cover your ears from the songs, the vibrations can still go through your body. So they counteracted the vibrations of the songs with their own humming of the songs that they were given, the protection songs that they were given. So they sang those songs to be able to counteract that. But they walked in that path, and they acted like they were kind of hypnotized by this being until they found its location. From there, that's when they sprung out of the pretend hypnosis, and then they began the fight against the Many-Horned Monster. Now, this being was strong, this being was huge, and it was knocking trees over, it was yelling, it was screaming, and all these different things that would give people nightmares. And the stories go that they had chased this being, and they had a plan to be able to try to corner it and trap it inside of a canyon, to where it wasn't in a wooded area or even in an open area, to where it could run and outmaneuver the twins themselves. So they lured it into a canyon by chasing it with their lightning arrows that they were given from their father. And so it sounded like a thunderstorm that was going off inside of the forest when they were trying to kill this monster. And luckily they were able to chase the Many-Horned Monster into a canyon, to where they were able to deal their final blows to this beast. And once they were able to kill it, get rid of it, they can't just leave the body there, because when it comes to these beasts, when it comes to evil like this, you can never just leave the body there, because evil will come and it will consume it, and then they'll get turned, or all these other different things. So they had to scatter the remains of the Many-Horned Monster to be able to make sure that it doesn't happen. But when they were returning home, they noticed something. And what they noticed was that the Many-Horned Monster itself had children. And these children were animals too, that had horns that were kind of small. They didn't know how to use their horns in the right way, but they were trying to learn how to make those vibrations and see as well, and all these other different things from their horns. And so the twins took pity on the children, and so what they did was to ensure that when they grow up, they don't turn into like the Many-Horned Monster himself, they sang songs and turned the antlers in on their own heads, on their own minds, to where like if they tried to learn how to do that, then that those songs and those curses that they would try to do would just be turned back on them. And so that's where you get some of the rams kind of children that are like that too. So to kind of be able to ensure that evil itself doesn't continue to rampage on. But they were successful in taking down the Many-Horned Monster and ensuring that their children do not become like their father or whatever it was, and wreaking havoc on the people, wreaking havoc in the world. So that was something that they had to make sure that they had to cover their footsteps and future generations don't get affected as well. And to kind of go back to the original tellings of this story goes back to using strategy, using finding out your enemy's tactics and learning how to use it against them, but also learning how to adapt on a dime whenever you need to, whenever you're dealing with a being that you don't understand. But that also goes with people too. These days, people have certain tactics, how they talk with you, or strategies. That's one thing I always loved about whenever you would hear stories about these monster slayers, and whenever they would go against these monsters, is how they would adapt their combat to be able to win against these beings that were very strong and powerful. And that's how, going through life, you see these things, these challenges that you face in your everyday life. They may not be physical monsters, so maybe sometimes they are, but metaphorically they could also be like certain challenges that you face in your life, and you have to learn how to overcome these certain situations, adapt and improve yourself to be able to make sure that you can come home to your family. And also going back to not misusing your jish, not misusing these sacred items that you are given or you earn in your life, to make sure that Diné and the spirits see everything. And if you misuse them, even the jish themselves have a spirit too, bad things will happen to you. You always have to kind of make sure these sacred items are taken care of with the utmost respect. And there's lots of different stories that come with each individual jish or sacred items that you use, but with how the Many-Horned Monster was birthed, yeah, you don't do that. But this is the ultimate consequence of what could happen. And there's other origin stories, other monsters that were out there that are very, very kind of gruesome. And the stories that happen and what they did are very, very barbaric and very, very scary too. But this one right here stood out to me because I live pretty close to where this thing actually was. So maybe one day I'll go venture out there and see if I can find the battlegrounds of where this actually happened. Maybe I'll take you all along too, where this actually happened too. But this is just one of those things that, especially in today's day and age, with things that are going on in everyday life, you're going to be faced with monsters. You're going to be faced with these certain things that will test your mind, that will test who you are. And the reason why I'm sharing this story now is because of that very reason, of things that we are facing today. Everyday monsters, everyday challenges that we face. Overcome it. Don't be consumed by it. Don't let it beat you. Figure out how to go against it and come back home to your family, to where your nation and your people are stronger and safer that much more. And that's pretty much, there's a lot of darkness and negativity out there that's happening in the world. So maybe some of these stories in these videos that I share will be able to wake you up and be able to see some of these situations that you're falling through and everything that you're going through, and realize that, hey, like, may not be a physical monster you're going against, but hopefully that you can be able to overcome it. And a lot of our traditional stories, whenever we tell these stories, it's not supposed to be until wintertime, but certain occasions like this, it's granted and okay if you tell some of these stories, as long as the lessons behind it match with a certain situation that you're kind of dealing with these days. Now, There's also even more sacred stories that deal with the seasons, storms, all these other different things that you really shouldn't be talking about until wintertime. But these ones right here, these monster wars and these monster slaying videos and these monster beings from Nizan and Tobash's Chine, those ones can be told if the situation arises and you need a teaching and lesson. So that's why I'm sharing this one right here. It's because, yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the world right now. So be like the twin warriors, be like those other guardians that help them out to overcome, find out the situation, find out the solution, and adapt and overcome. Oh. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And like how I said, I do have a second channel, Shanclen Shadow Lodge, where I'll be doing some more uploads here very, very shortly. I have a Twitch, I have a Kick account, I have a TikTok, Shanclen SP, and then Instagram at Clen Warrior SSP. You can find me on there too. So yeah, go follow me there if you guys have any cool stories that you'd like to share. I recently got an uptick of amazing stories from you viewers on there. So if you guys want to send me a story, you send it to ShanclenShadowProductions@gmail.com. Oh, and yeah, just stay safe out there, everybody. Like I said, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Hagore! Coffee. Let's get you let's get you edited up. Second camera, I moved you back way over there. You've been naughty. You haven't been saving. So that's why you're over there now.